We can't do this anymore. We've got to run it like a business, but with heart. We got to have great heart.
I want to focus on this because...
But you say, wait. Isn't he a huge business success? Doesn't he know what he's talking about? No, he isn't. And no, he doesn't. His bankruptcies have crushed small businesses and the men and women who work for them. He inherited his business. He didn't create it. And whatever happened to Trump Airlines? How about Trump University? And then there's Trump Magazine, and Trump Vodka, and Trump Steaks, and Trump Mortgage. A business genius, he is not.
You know how dark it has to be when Senator Mitt Romney, of all people, is making sense of the current moment?
The thing with whether it's voters or whether it's like rhetoric around how to handle this stuff, there are people who even now genuinely believe, oh, let's get a business person. Let's get someone who's good at business in government so they can run the government as efficiently as they run their business, right? And when you crash out a business, when you make mistakes in business, when you run a poor business, you can always start another business. The people who we even look up to as these beacons of industry were all people at some point who had a failed business, right? But the government is not a business, because if you crash out the government, if you make the same mistakes with the government, you don't have a country. And you can't just be like, no, we're going to start new America.
This is exactly the point. All those suckers who wanted this man to run the economy like a business are getting exactly what they voted for: hardship.
You don't even need a cold gas thruster system. You already have hot gas. But this is only for the booster, right? Yes. Although arguably, now you mention it, we might be wise to do this for the ship too. We're gonna fix that. Jeez.
Just so we are clear, this dude, born a millimeter from home plate, who comes from apartheid South Africa and inherited wealth through an emerald mine, is in over his head on many levels, including...
You saw Elon run the government the way he ran his business. When Elon took over Twitter, right? He comes into Twitter and he immediately starts firing everybody because he's like, you're waste, you're redundant, I don't know what you do, I don't know what that is, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired. And then a couple days after he took over, remember that brief period where he was like, how do you turn it on? And then someone who still worked there, who he didn't fire, was like, oh, you fired the dude who turned it on. Yeah, you asked me for a list of people to fire. I'm not gonna put my name on the list. So and so you see, you end up seeing Elon firing people and then trying to like hire them back real quick and trying to like smooth over the things that he broke that didn't need breaking, you know? And then DOGE ends up working the same way. It ends up swooping in and firing a bunch of people and then trying to hire some of them back real quick, and it's chaos. And Elon is the face of it.
He is, with a legion of young minions, some of whom have racist social media posts that are gutting Social Security and intentionally making our lives a living hell. Hey guys, quick break in the action. I have a new show coming out called The Rick Strom Show. It is going to be awesome. I'm interviewing musicians, athletes, producers, writers, journalists, authors, sports doctors. Go check it out at youtube.com/@TheRickStrom Show. Also be sure to throw me a follow on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. It can all be found in the description box below. Thank you.
Global stock markets are tumbling after President Trump unveiled the biggest hike in global tariffs in modern U.S. history, including a 10% blanket tariff on all imported goods from about 185 countries. In addition, many U.S. trading partners, including the European Union, China, and Japan, will see even higher tariffs. China now faces a total 54% tariff.
I don't think MAGA understands just how grim it is about to get. Truly.
Becky, I think this is profound. It's profound an act of economic self-harm, as I think I've seen in my lifetime, or at least in my career in financial services. 11% of the U.S. economy is imports. 40% of those imports aren't finished goods, they're parts.
Bob Diamond, the former CEO of Barclays, of all places, puts it bluntly as well.
A guy named Dan Ives, he's an analyst for Wedbush Securities, released a post calling this economic Armageddon, and here's what he wrote. 50% China tariffs, 23% Taiwan tariffs would essentially cause a shutoff valve from U.S. tech landscape and in the process cause every electronic to go up 40 or 50% for consumers. iPhones in the U.S., made in the U.S., would cost $3,500 compared to $1,000 now. The stock market, as we know, is not the economy, but if prices go up anywhere near that amount, can the Republicans message their way out of this?
No, they can't.
The American economy is in trouble. The American empire is in decline. We don't want to discuss it in this country. We engage in denial, and instead we are striking out at other people, a sad way of handling a decline. The British Empire declined before us, so did all the others. We are now at that point. We had a great 20th century. 21st century is different. You have to face those problems. That's not being done. What's being done is to say we have difficulties, but they're all somebody else's fault, and we're going to solve it by punishing them.
As does a man I would like to interview on my independent show, Dr. Richard Wolff. Another perspective?
Don't panic. The important thing to remember on days like this is that a trans kid isn't playing junior varsity basketball in rural Pennsylvania.
Sean Flanagan on TikTok. Throw him a follow. In a 9-second clip, this man just summed up persuasion tactics, distractions, and the execution of the MAGA playbook to a T.
I think you'd have to concede that this was not the market reaction you were looking for. There's a way of maybe incrementally trying to accomplish some of the things that the president wants to do in a reasonable, serious way. And this just almost across the board has caused what you're seeing in the stock market and a lot of head scratching and head shaking on whether anyone really knows what they're doing in this case.
As one journalist wrote, when you lost CNBC's MAGA host, Joe Kernan.
You know what else the U.S. imports a ton of to sell in this country? Guns and bullets. So those prices are about to skyrocket. I wonder if any people who buy bullets regularly will care about this.
This is true. And you may be thinking, well, that has to be the final straw. Frankly, no, it won't be, because the base is blinded by loyalty. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYTsports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day. Calling out elite people in comedy should be the rule of thumb.
I think Donald Trump's hair is actually another creature. Yeah. The hair's like going, good night, Donald. Good night, Donald. There we go.
Maybe it goes out. It goes out and makes money while he's asleep.
There is something about punching down that feels taboo, and punching up is the way to go.
Crack's not really my thing, but if it was, it would be fine if I was on that side.
Wow.
Don Jr.'s on coke.
We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated. I'm a very stable genius.
It is very important, the work that the Jordan Kleppers are doing, the work that the Good Liars are doing, the work that our team here at the Turks are doing, and many more.
Used to see these tackles, now they tackle. Oh, head-on-head collision. Bing, flag. Football's become soft.
You have Trump doing sound effects for tackles. The choice could not be more clear. Let's not beat around the bush about it.